Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. My name is Hollow and today we're talking Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the about to release Viking-style Creed game. Thanks to Ubisoft, we were able to play the game a little early, so I've been playing it throughout the weekend, exploring England and borrowing things they own. I'm gonna go back and return it all someday, probably. But in my time playing, I've got better at the new systems and more comfortable with the game as a whole. So much so that I've definitely noticed a bunch of things that would have been really great to know the moment I first started playing. And so I put together this little list of things you'll need to know as you jump into Valhalla yourself. We're going to be talking about different aspects of the game, from the combat to the open world, but I will keep the video spoiler free so you can benefit from it without ruining anything. With all that said, let's jump into the tips. Starting with a combat system which continues where the previous titles left off with a few cool improvements to be aware of. In Valhalla, we'll be making use of different weapon movesets and combos. Naturally, we'll have the things like light and heavy attacks, which we'll use for different purposes, whether you're comboing light attacks for raw damage or chaining heavies to break through a shield. You should always consider mixing up your lights and heavies for maximum value. In Valhalla, missed attacks will cost you stamina, but if you successfully hit, you can actually gain stamina while actively attacking. But this is more important when it comes to what weapons you're actually using. In Valhalla, we make use of dual wielding, and this opens a lot of opportunities. Dual axes, hammers, shields, an axe and a shield, a hammer and an axe. Whatever you're using, they all come with their own moveset and purposes. And it also depends on what's in your main hand and what's in your offhand. But did you know, when using a weapon that uses two hands, say a two-handed axe or anything you're dual wielding, you can now make use of L1 or whatever button normally blocks when you're holding a shield, and then hold that to do a new stamina consuming chain attack. If you're using a two-handed axe, you'll spin to win, cleaving enemies around you. While you're dual wielding, you'll start slamming constantly until your stamina's completely finished. These are basically new, high damaging, but very risky attacks, so you should use them wisely. To start the game out though, when it comes to combat, things will be pretty straightforward and basic, but as you unlock and upgrade your character, you'll have more attacks to use with abilities or new passives like, hey, the stomp for insta-kills when someone gets knocked down, or direct abilities to use mid-combat like diving on someone and chain punching them through a sort of punching rhythm game. Most importantly though, you should be aware of the stun gauge when dealing with stronger enemies. When you deplete that gauge fully, they're going to stagger and then you can do huge damage during that time. To work at that stun gauge, you'll need to parry their attacks, use your own heavy attacks, or shoot their weak points with your bow, which will be highlighted in yellow. These are vital not only for the stun depletion effect when you actually get that down to zero, but even on the small staggers these cause. These are windows of opportunity to deal damage to an enemy you otherwise might have no way to hurt otherwise, like say this crusader that I was fighting and killing way earlier than maybe I should have. Abilities are going to ignore their guard, parrying and perfect evades will give you small windows of opportunity, and abusing those weak spots are going to be key. Overall though, the combat is definitely familiar to the new Creed style they've been doing, but improved upon ever so slightly thanks to things like less XP grinding requirements, making more possible if you're up for the challenge when you're roaming around. Now let's talk some more general tips that are extremely useful to know once you're let loose on the world. Firstly, in Valhalla, we have a great new mechanic to address health regen, because health doesn't regen. You need to now find food or hunt for it, picking berries, looking in cooking pots, hunting animals. I think this is a great mechanic because it encourages hunting for a real purpose. You do actually have one ration store that you can pop whenever you want to instantly restore 50% of your health when you use that, but you can upgrade this pack multiple times via materials that you scavenge in the world so you can have multiple rations to use. You won't always need to be cramming random berries or hunting always, but it'll be important to have a supply before a major encounter. Next though, I just want to say, trust me on this, skip any side stuff until you make it to the first town of the game, which is shortly into the opening of the game. You can do that within the first hour easily, and once you manage that, that actually unlocks your summon horse ability, and you do not want to be walking around the wild without a horse. Making use of your horse or your boat is so much faster, so get those unlocked first. Speaking of moving around the world though, if you are next to any open water, as I mentioned, your boat, you can summon your Vikings with the ship and have them help you with your next fight, and of course also make use of that boat to get around the land. This means though, the deeper inland you go, the more isolated you'll become from your crew because there's no water around. What's great though is that your boat serves as a fast travel location, so you could leave it somewhere useful, head inland, and then just teleport back to it when you're ready to leave. If you're ever near water, you should probably take advantage of this summon and get your crew to help you out. Next though, let's move on to equipment, because when it comes to your clothing and equipment, we have a couple of important things to know. Firstly, this is just cool. You can hide any piece of gear you're wearing for cosmetic purposes. So say if you just got yourself like a cool chest tattoo, but you want to actually see them, you could hide your chest piece at any time, and it's still there statistically, mechanically, but visually gone. And then you can reveal it again whenever you're ready. It's just a tiny but nice detail for personal preference that I definitely appreciate. I wanted you guys to know about. But probably more importantly, because this is a mechanical thing, your equipment falls under 3 traits: Wolf, Raven, or Bear. These are basically the 3 playstyles of the game: stealth, ranged, or melee. You should try to wear equipment traits that match your preferred playstyle or how you're planning to approach the next situation anyway. If you're just going to run in and fight head on, skilling down the melee tree is ideal obviously, but as you do so, you'll actually find perks and nodes that will enhance the power of, say, bear traits for your equipment. So in that scenario, wearing bear equipment for your bear playstyle and skilling for a bear is ideal. But obviously you can still mix and match or ignore these traits and be fine. It's just if you're playing on hard, you should really give yourself the best advantage you can. Now for some side content tips, because I have to say it's very valuable in Valhalla. There's a lot of good reasons to do it. Out in that world, you can actually find new combat abilities and new equipment at side events or secrets found in the world, or say an obvious base raid. There are absolutely tons of hidden areas in the world to find, or random events, mini boss battles, and so on. The materials you'll find can upgrade your equipment for better stats, you can get more rations, you can have a bigger quiver for more arrows, and so on. And during that exploration, or honestly during most of anything you're doing, you should be spamming your focus ability, which reveals items, enemies, or points of interest. It really helps reveal whatever it is you're looking for rather than miss it. And it reveals more than just like obvious things, it also reveals resources for upgrades, so you shouldn't sleep on that. But while completing any task, be it main or side, you will be rewarded with XP that will level you up. When you level up, that rewards skill points to spend on your talent trees. These talent trees give passive bonuses to combat, stealth, or ranged approaches, while major nodes in these trees also give you special abilities too. As you can see, there is a lot, and a lot of it is actually hidden until you progress through the tree to reveal it from a connecting node. The 3 playstyles will all connect to each other at one point, but there is a lot here to say the least. It definitely takes some investment to find out what's down that route and then put points towards it. So if you're worried about choosing the wrong path after you revealed a skill tree and then were disappointed or not happy with what you found, you can actually respec at any time while in this menu, so feel free to experiment and unlock more nodes and find what works for you. As an extra final note though, when it comes to finding new abilities or rare resources for upgrading, always look around properly. The entrances to secret areas are often hidden, but are actually shown on the map as a sort of doorway. Through that, you know where to aim and direct yourself to find the way in, whether you're using your Raven or searching yourself for that entrance. These can often be hidden behind breakable terrain like an ice wall or a covered passage. If you aim at a breakable object, your reticle will actually turn red, and then you know you can break it. Doors locked on the other side could actually be shot through, say, a window, or terrain can be dropped to create new passages. Keep an eye out and probably just break everything, man. But there you have it. All the main things I realized would be probably good to know if you just started playing the game, rather than after you've spent a few hours maybe finding out or maybe missing out. Hopefully these tips will help you on your journey through Valhalla, but whatever the case, it's good to have a new Creed game again finally. It's been really great relaxing and playing this over the weekend. Norway, the starting region, was actually a lot bigger than I expected it to be, which gave me an even greater appreciation for how big the kingdoms of England are once you get there. Anyway though, thank you for watching this video. If it was useful or interesting, be sure to drop a like to help other people find this video. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you in the next video.